How's everyone doing this morning? Boy, do I have something interesting for you today. You're just gonna love this. A little bit of a history lesson today, shall we? Let me read this for you because again, if you've seen some of my videos before, you know I like to be absolutely accurate. So sometimes I will read things verbatim just so I don't screw them up. We're going to talk a little about FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Association, or assholes, or whatever they are. On March 31st, 2003, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, became part of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The primary mission of the Federal Emergency Management Association is to reduce the loss of life and property and protect the nation from all hazards, including natural disasters, acts of terrorism, and other man made disasters, by leading and supporting the nation in a risk based, comprehensive emergency management system of preparedness, protection, response, recovery, and mitigation. Boy, that sounds official. Sounds like they've got their act together. That's a government agency that's here to protect us and do what they need to do to make sure that not only are we safe, but to ease the tension and ease the worry of the American people wondering where the help's going to come from. Well, that was in March 1st of 2003. In 2005, many of you might not remember the year 2005 unless, of course, you happen to live in Louisiana. In 2005, Katrina hit. We saw what a disaster that was. Now, I'm gonna be honest. That was from the ground up. That was from Mayor Ray Nagin to the governor to FEMA to the president to everyone. Screwed that up. People died. It is 2009. 4 years afterwards, there are still people homeless. There are still areas that haven't been reconstructed. We screwed the pooch when it comes to Katrina victims, obviously. And when Bush sat there and said, Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job, what crap that was. Now, just in February of this year, 2009, a Senate subcommittee talked about FEMA's response during Katrina, and they said there were eight. Well, let me read it verbatim because, again, I want to make sure that everything is set. The subcommittee found eight fundamental problems with FEMA's post Katrina response. First, FEMA has no operational catastrophic disaster plan. Let me read that again. FEMA has no operational catastrophic disaster plan. Oh, that's nice. FEMA's programs were insufficient to meet housing needs in a post catastrophic event. FEMA's decisions to reject other options resulted in heavy reliance on costly trailers and mobile homes. In other words, other people stepped in and said, we have a better idea, and FEMA went, nah, we got this covered, and then screwed it up more. FEMA's programs were marked by frequent changes and errors. FEMA had insufficient and poorly trained staff. The needs of renters were not met, and flawed FEMA public assistance programs blocked state and local governments from restoring public services needed for housing recovery. In other words, some of their own policies stop people from getting the help they need. Now, why in the world am I talking about FEMA in 2009? Why are we talking about Katrina in 2009? Well, the Federal Emergency Management, and again, let me go back to this text because I want to make sure let's see. To reduce the loss of life and property and protect the nations from all hazards, including national disasters, active terrorism, and other man-made disasters, by leading and supporting the nation in a risk-based, comprehensive emergency management system of preparedness, protection, response, recovery, and mitigation. That is what FEMA stands for. It's like truth, justice, and the American way. By leading and supporting the nation in a risk-based, comprehensive emergency management system of preparedness, protection, response, recovery, and mitigation. Holy cow, hallelujah, bake the apple pie, play a baseball game, FEMA's in control, and they rock. Well then, how are they doing this? Well, let me show you something. For those of you who haven't seen this, be prepared to be a little bit stunned by our government in action. What I'm about to show you is not a joke. I repeat, this is not a joke. FEMA decided, you know something, not only do we have to help adults, Americans, we have to help children. Because in all honesty, children's minds are shaped by the adults. And sometimes when they see things in the world they don't understand, they see a tornado that destroyed a house and they don't quite understand. And there's a lot of people that feel that, you know, children can learn more by stories, maybe a nice poignant cartoon and an after-school special, a puppet show. Well, FEMA decided, let's put together a coloring book that helps children understand what FEMA does and what natural disasters are. Now, I hope you can see this, and I'll move it around a bit so you can, because again, this is no joke. Here's the cover of FEMA's coloring book. As you can see, we have a tornado, we have a car that's been smashed, and what's this? Oh look, it's a plane barreling into the second tower of the World Trade Center. Here's the first one on fire, and guess what, kids? You get to color the flames. This is a coloring book, and you get to color in the worst disaster, the worst terrorist attack on America. Ooh, isn't that fun? But it's got to be just the cover, right? I mean, they didn't go further, did they? Because that would just be wrong. There's no way they went any... What? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Let me read this to you real quick. Let me read the caption. It's story time with Leonard. I'm going to read the caption, and I'll show you the picture. Here's what it says. You might hear about it again and again on the TV or radio, or read about it in the newspapers. Now, kids, go ahead, look. We have you looking out the window as a plane crashes into a building. There it is on TV, and you see it in the newspaper. Now get your crayons. Whee! This is fun. Look, here we go. Here's the terrorist act. Here they are, blowing up buildings, killing thousands of Americans. FEMA, what the hell are you thinking? Boy, thank God Crayola makes that 64 count with that little sharpener in the back, because I'd hate to color out of lines when I'm watching the terrorists blow up the World Trade Centers. So when our kids go to school and they learn about history, and they go, yeah, I remember coloring that. Wow, did they have a Pearl Harbor coloring book too? What about the Auschwitz coloring book, or the little find a picture? One of these things are not like the other. Well, what are we thinking? This is our government. This is our tax-paying money. Sure, we pay $300,000 for Air Force One to scare the hell out of people in New York. Why not go ahead and put out a coloring book that shows the World Trade Centers being bombed for our children? This is FEMA. This is our Federal Emergency Management Agency. Places a lot of faith back into a flawed system, doesn't it? And make sure we understand, if this happened under other administrations, it'd be all over the news. Be fair. I don't care who did this. It's wrong. Send an email to FEMA. Go to FEMA. FEMA.org. Just type in FEMA. Find their email address. Send them an email. Let them know how disturbing and how disgusted you are, and ask them who's going to pay us back, because we paid for this as Americans. We paid for this. Who's going to pay us back? We're sick of losing money. We're sick of having money taken from us and thrown out the window. Well, we as taxpayers paid for this. Ask them who's going to pay us back. Don't stand for this anymore. What a wonderful world.